Listening Task 3. Hirevue Interview Deep Dive.
Welcome, prospective pilot. Today, we're embarking on a deep dive, really getting into what it takes to join the elite ranks of pilots at Emirates Airlines.
That's right.
You've sent us some incredible source material, a really comprehensive guide to acing that Hirevue video interview, which, as you know, is such a critical first step in their selection process. It's quite rigorous.
It absolutely is. And this isn't just about, can you fly the plane?
Right.
It's much deeper. They're assessing your personality, your motivations, those really important behavioral competencies.
Exactly. So for our deep dive today, we're going to try something a little different, something I think you'll find really illuminating.
Okay.
I'll be stepping into the role of the interviewer, and our expert here will be the candidate navigating these challenging questions, but not just answering.
No. I'll be wearing two hats, so to speak. Answering as if I were the candidate, but also stepping back to analyze why they're asking that specific question. And what's really fascinating, I think, is how Emirates structures this whole initial screening. It's not random.
Doesn't feel random, no.
The questions are very thoughtfully ordered. They start with the more straightforward ones.
Kind of ease you in.
Exactly. And then progressively move into the more complex situational judgments. And there's a reason for that. It's designed really to let you, the candidate, build confidence and fluency as you go.
That makes sense. Less intimidating up front.
Right. So our mission today, as we walk through this, is to unpack each question, understand the why behind it. What insights are they really trying to get from you, the listener, if you were in that hot seat?
Well, look at the competencies they're digging for, sometimes the ones that aren't immediately obvious.
Precisely.
Think of this as your shortcut then. A way to understand the psyche, maybe, of a successful Emirates pilot. We'll highlight what makes someone stand out, make sure you're well-equipped with the knowledge you need, not just to answer, but, to really impress. So let's unpack this first section. This is designed to get to know you, the candidate. Establish that rapport, let your motivations shine through right from the start.
Getting to know you.
Easiest. All right, let's begin. We'll start with some foundational questions. These are designed to be conversational, really let you introduce yourself, your aspirations. It's like the initial handshake, setting the tone.
Okay, I'm ready.
So, my first question to you, the aspiring pilot. Tell me about yourself.
As candidate. Okay. Well, thank you for the opportunity. I am a dedicated and highly motivated aviation professional. I've got over 10 years experience, mostly in flight operations and training, including quite extensive multi-engine instruction. My journey into aviation, it really began when I was young. I was just captivated by the precision, the responsibility that flight demands. And over the years, I've really worked on honing my skills, things like precision navigation, rigorous adherence to complex procedures, and fostering effective team collaboration, especially in high-pressure environments.
Good.
I'm particularly drawn to Emirates' commitment to operational excellence. It's, unparalleled global network, and its reputation for that unique luxury customer service experience. And I'm very eager to bring my disciplined approach and my unwavering passion for flight to your airline.
Shift to analyst mode. Okay, let's pause there. That's how you might approach it as a candidate.
Right. Now, stepping back for our deep dive, here's why that kind of answer is critical.
Go on.
It's a classic opener, yes. We all know, tell me about yourself. But for Emirates, it's really designed to gauge your narrative skills, your confidence, and crucially, how well you tailor your story.
Not just a generic pilot story.
Exactly. It's way more than just reciting your resume. What's really important is how you connect your background, not just to being a pilot, but specifically to Emirates' unique brand identity.
Ah, okay. So highlighting things they value.
Precisely. You need to highlight qualities like discipline, passion, ambition, sure. But also subtly weave in aspects that resonate with their values. Maybe multicultural experience, adaptability, and appreciation for a global operation.
Because they are incredibly global.
Incredibly. So you're painting a picture of someone who not only flies well, but also fits the mold of an Emirates professional, someone who understands their global reach, their specific service ethos.
Very well put. That really does set the stage. Okay, let's dig a bit deeper into that passion you mentioned. Why do you want to be a pilot? What truly draws you to this beyond, the cool factor?
As candidate? Well, for me, the desire stems from a really profound fascination with flight itself. That intricate balance of science and art needed to navigate the skies. And that's coupled with the immense responsibility of getting passengers safely across vast distances. I find the continuous learning, the dynamic challenges, different airspaces, varied weather, and the sheer precision required in every single phase of flight incredibly stimulating.
It's demanding.
It is. And beyond the technical side, I'm really drawn to that unique sense of purpose. Enabling global connectivity, contributing to such a vital industry. It's a career that demands constant self-improvement. It offers a unique perspective on the world, and it just resonates deeply with my own values of responsibility and lifelong learning.
Analyst. Okay, analysis time.
Right. This question, it goes right to the core. Your intrinsic motivation for aviation.
What really drives you?
Exactly. Interviewers are looking for that genuine enthusiasm, a deep curiosity about the industry, and a real deep-seated commitment. Emirates wants to see you're not just looking for a job, but a lifelong career where you'll thrive in their demanding high-performance environment.
So showing it's more than a paycheck.
Absolutely. Your answer needs to convey why this specific profession captivates you. And sharing a brief, impactful anecdote about your journey into aviation could be really effective here.
A personal touch.
Yes. It demonstrates that intrinsic motivation, the kind that indicates resilience, long-term dedication, things you absolutely need for this path. They're looking for that spark, the kind that keeps you committed through tough training and demanding schedules.
That makes sense. That passion needs to be authentic. Which leads perfectly into these next two, often asked together.
The big ones for the airline itself.
Exactly. Why do you want to work for Emirates, specifically? And what do you know about us? Show me you've done your homework.
As candidate.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm specifically keen to work for Emirates primarily because of its unparalleled reputation for excellence in global aviation. Also, its clear commitment to superior customer service and its state-of-the-art fleet. I know Emirates is a truly global airline, connecting the world through Dubai, operating a modern fleet, mostly the iconic A380s and Boeing 777s, the pinnacle of aviation tech, really.
You've looked into the fleet. Good.
Yes. And furthermore, I deeply admire Emirates' dedication to safety, its diverse, multicultural work environment fostering collaboration among professionals from everywhere, and its continuous drive for innovation.
Innovation in what sense?
Well, from enhancing the passenger experience to optimizing operational efficiency. These values, global reach, innovation, that unwavering commitment to excellence, they align perfectly with my own professional aspirations.
Analyst. Okay, let's unpack that.
Right. These two questions, often combined, are absolutely crucial. They show your specific interest and the depth of your research.
It's not enough to just say they're big or famous.
Not at all. It's simply not enough to say, I want to fly big planes or Emirates is a good airline. What often surprises candidates, I think, is how deeply Emirates integrates its brand identity, that luxury service, the multicultural workforce into every aspect, even technical roles.
So pilots are brand ambassadors too.
In many ways, yes. Successful pilots, there aren't just technical experts. You need to show you understand their unique position, their core values, customer service, safety, operational excellence, their specific fleet, the routes, their reputation as a leading luxury carrier.
Details matter.
Immensely. This level of detail shows commitment to their airline, not just any airline, knowing about their focus on luxury, connectivity, innovation that can genuinely set you apart.
Yeah.
Proves you've invested time, moved beyond the superficial, and appreciate what makes Emirates unique.
Got it. Okay, moving on. Let's talk self-awareness, a critical trait for any pilot, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely essential.
So what are your greatest strengths? And conversely, what are your greatest weaknesses? Be honest, but, be strategic.
As candidate. Okay. My greatest strength, which I believe are directly applicable and essential for a pilot, include meticulous attention to detail, strong decision-making, even under pressure, and a highly disciplined approach to procedures.
Can you give an example of one?
Sure. For instance, my meticulous pre-flight planning ensures every variable, no matter how small, is accounted for. It minimizes risks, maximizes safety. As for a weakness, I'd say I have at times struggled with delegating tasks. I tend to prefer ensuring every detail myself to guarantee perfection.
Okay, that's honest. But how are you addressing it?
Right. I've actively worked on this by consciously trusting my team more, understanding that effective delegation, especially in a multi-crew environment, is essential for optimal resource management and overall efficiency. I now make a point to consciously assign responsibilities, empower colleagues, and it hasn't just improved my workflow, it's fostered greater team cohesion.
Analyst. Good approach. Let's analyze.
For strengths, you must align them with pilot qualities. Meticulous attention to detail, strong decision-making under pressure, excellent communication, leadership potential, unwavering commitment to safety. You're mapping your skills onto the job requirements.
Makes sense. And weaknesses.
This is primarily a test of self-awareness, yes, but even more so, your commitment to continuous improvement. It's vital to present a weakness you're actively working on. Show that growth mindset.
Not just stating a flaw.
Exactly. The key isn't just identifying it, but detailing the actions you've taken to mitigate it. That shows proactive development. And a crucial point for pilots. Avoid any weakness that directly impacts safety or core judgment, even if you say you're working on it. That's a red flag.
Right. Some weaknesses are non-starters for this role.
Precisely. Emirates wants introspective people actively engaged in self-improvement, not people claiming perfection or highlighting critical flaws.
Understood. Okay. Pilots operate in dynamic, often high-stakes environments. Pressure is a constant. So tell me, how do you handle stress and pressure? And describe your ideal work environment.
As candidate.
Right.
To handle stress and pressure, I rely heavily on thorough preparation and a systematic approach. By ensuring I'm meticulously prepared, understanding contingencies, using checklists comprehensively, I minimize the unknowns and build readiness.
And in the moment, if something unexpected happens.
In a high-pressure situation, my focus shifts. I break down complex problems into manageable steps, prioritize immediate actions using established protocols, and maintain clear, concise communication with the crew and ATC. My ideal work environment. It's highly structured, professional, where safety is absolutely paramount.
What else?
It's an environment that fosters continuous learning, encourages open, honest communication, and values strong teamwork and mutual support, all operating within clear, standard operating procedures.
Analysts, let's break that down.
Handling stress is fundamental, non-negotiable. Your answer needs specific coping mechanisms, preparation, prioritization, communication, like I mentioned. Emirates assesses your resilience, your calm under duress, especially given their long-haul operations across diverse conditions.
And the ideal environment part.
That assesses your fit with their culture. Emirates values teamwork, strict adherence to procedures, a professional, safety-oriented atmosphere. Your description must reflect these values. Emphasize structure, collaboration, challenge, continuous learning, adherence to protocols. They need to know you'll thrive in their highly regulated, collaborative setting, especially with diverse international crews.
Fit is key.
Behavioral insights, intermediate.
Okay, now, for you, the listener, this next section often reveals the true character of a potential pilot. We're moving beyond aspirations now.
Into past behavior.
Exactly, because past behavior is often the best predictor of future performance, right?
Generally, yes.
The source material we're using highly recommends the STAR method for these questions. For our listeners' benefit, can you just briefly explain what STUM is and why it's so effective here?
Absolutely. STAR is, well, it's an incredibly powerful and structured way to answer these behavioral questions. It uses concrete examples. It stands for STAR.
Gorgeous.
Situation. You start by briefly describing the background, the context, set the scene clearly.
Got it, T.
Task. Explain your specific responsibility or role in that situation. What was your objective? The challenge. Action. This is the crucial part. Detail the specific steps you took. What did you do? Use I statements. Emphasize your contribution. Result. Conclude with the outcome. What happened because of your actions? And importantly, what did you learn? The takeaway.
So why is that so effective?
It provides a clear, concise, compelling narrative. It demonstrates your competencies with tangible evidence, not just hypotheticals. It forces specificity, paints a vivid picture of your actual behavior. And that's exactly what interviewers want, especially for roles like a pilot where judgment and experience are paramount.
Excellent explanation. Makes perfect sense. Let's put it into practice then. Give me an example using STAR. Tell me about a time you had to work effectively as part of a team.
As candidate, certainly.
During my advanced multi-crew pilot training, we had a complex simulated emergency. An approach into a challenging airport with a significant hydraulic failure affecting flaps and gear required constant coordination.
Okay, high pressure.
Task. My role as first officer was to assist the captain in managing this, running non-normal checklists meticulously, coordinating with simulated ATC, managing the aircraft's energy state.
Lots to juggle.
Action. I maintained clear, concise communication, Confirmed checklist items allowed, cross-check procedures, monitored systems. I also proactively suggested an adjusted flap setting based on remaining hydraulics and speed, anticipating the captain's need, which he confirmed. We constantly cross-checked inputs, kept a sterile cockpit.
Focused teamwork.
Result. Because of our synchronized teamwork and CRM principles, we managed the failure, landed safely within parameters, and got positive feedback on our CRM. I learned just how critical anticipatory communication and mutual support are in high-stress situations. The cockpit crew truly operates as one unit.
Analyst. Okay, good example.
That's an ideal scenario for this. When Emirates asks about teamwork, they're not thinking about, college group projects.
No.
This is crucial because teamwork is paramount in the cockpit. CRM crew resource management is everything. They want to see how you collaborate, support colleagues, contribute to a shared goal, especially under pressure.
So the example needs to be relevant.
Highly relevant. My example showed collaboration leading directly to a successful outcome in a challenging sim scenario. It shows I understand that symbiotic relationship between pilots, a common pitfall, talking about what the team did.
Instead of what you did.
Exactly. You need to highlight your specific contribution to the team's success.
Got it. Okay, next one. Adaptability. Non-negotiable in aviation, right? Things change constantly. So describe a time you had to learn something new quickly or adapt to a sudden change in plans. Show me your agility.
As candid. Okay, I can combine those.
On a recent cross-country training flight, meticulously planned, pre-flight done, minutes before engine start, we got an unexpected NOTAM. Significant, unforecast runway closure at our destination due to emergency maintenance.
Happens all the time.
Task. My job was to quickly find and evaluate suitable alternates, recess fuel, amend the flight plan, while the captain talked to ATC and ground crew. Needed rapid analysis of new weather, charts, performance data on the fly.
Under pressure.
Action. I immediately pulled up charts on the EFB for 2 viable alternates. Cross-referenced runway lengths, approach capabilities, weather, calculated updated fuel burn, including reserves, presented a concise summary of the best option to the captain arrival times, potential ATC issues. We then updated the FMS together, informed ATC.
Big work.
Result. Within 15 minutes, we had a revised safe flight plan. Showed we could adapt rapidly. We departed on time, just to a different destination, completed the exercise. It reinforced the need for continuous situational awareness and swift, data-driven decisions when faced with dynamic, unforecast variables.
Good practical example.
Adaptability and quick learning are undeniably key, especially for a global airline like Emirates, facing diverse weather, ATC operational conditions daily.
New planes, new rules.
Exactly. New aircraft types, updated procedures, unexpected weather. Closures pilots must constantly assimilate new info, adjust strategies. My answer focused on integrating new, critical information under time pressure, adapting the plan safely and efficiently. It showed the steps taken, demonstrating that proactive, flexible mindset. Emirates values pilots who can think on their feet when the playbook doesn't quite fit.
Right, not just follow the script blindly. Okay, problem solving. Give me an example of a time you had to solve a difficult problem. Walk me through your process.
As candidate, okay.
In a previous role, scheduling for a cargo airline, we had a last-minute crew sickness, critical overnight flight, time-sensitive medical supplies close to departure. All reserve crews were already assigned.
Nightmare scenario.
Task, my immediate task. Find a legal, rested crew member, short notice, prevent a costly critical delay. Involved navigating complex flight duty period regulations, rostering limits, under severe time pressure.
The clock is ticking.
Action. First, I hit the crew management system. Identified all off-duty pilots, legal rest, qualified for the type. Cross-referenced with home bases, immediate availability proximity was key. Proactively contacted 2 potentials, explained the urgency, offered transport. Simultaneously coordinated with ops and dispatch to hold the flight maximum 30 minutes, giving a small window.
Multitasking.
Result. Within 25 minutes, secured a rested, qualified first officer. Flight departed with only a 15-minute delay. Highlighted my ability to stay calm, analyze complex data quickly, make effective, compliant decisions to resolve a critical bottleneck. Reinforce the importance of quick, decisive problem solving.
Analyst, that's a strong example.
Problem-solving skills are paramount. This question assesses analytical abilities, logical reasoning under pressure, resilience. A strong answer describes a challenging scenario. The structured steps: diagnose, evaluate options, implement solution. Emphasize the positive outcome, lessons learned.
They want thinkers.
Yes. Emirates isn't just looking for checklist followers. They want pilots who can think critically when things deviate, find root causes, find solutions within the rules. That logical, step-by-step approach is key.
Makes sense. Okay, the mistake question. Everyone makes them. It's human.
Crucial question, this one.
Tell me about a time you made a mistake. What did you learn, and how did you ensure it wouldn't happen again?
As candidate. All right.
During a solo navigation flight for my CPL, I misread a subtle wind change forecast for one leg. Critical for timing and fuel.
Easy to do.
Task: maintain accurate ETAs, conserve fuel. My miscalculation meant arriving slightly early at a checkpoint, showing a nav error from incorrect wind correction.
How did you realize?
Action. Ground features appeared sooner than expected. I immediately cross-referenced GPS with my paper chart, confirmed the discrepancy, recalculated the wind component, adjusted heading, updated subsequent ETAs. Crucially, after landing, I immediately debriefed with my instructor. Admitted the mistake, explained my process. We reviewed the weather brief, identified the nuance I'd missed.
Taking ownership.
Result: minor error, no safety impact, but a huge learning experience. Gained deeper appreciation for meticulous interpretation of all weather data. Since then, I implemented a personal double-check system for wind components in planning, focusing on interpolation, reviewing multiple sources. This self-correction made me a more precise navigator.
Analyst. That shows real learning.
This question powerfully demonstrates accountability, and that crucial learning mindset is not about being flawless. It's about acknowledging errors, understanding root causes, implementing changes.
That's a safety culture.
Yes, Emirates, like many top airlines, emphasizes a just culture. Focus isn't on blame, but systemic learning, transparent reporting. That's nuanced but critical for pilots. A good response outlines the mistake, immediate mitigation, long-term changes. It shows maturity, integrity, commitment to professional growth essential in aviation. They want introspection, continuous improvement.
Very important. Communication next. Vital for safety ATC, cabin crew, passengers. Describe a situation where you had to communicate complex information clearly.
As a candidate.
As a flight instructor, teaching instrument approaches in challenging low-vis conditions, a student was struggling. Overwhelmed by the avionics, ATC instructions, complex charts interacting.
Information overload.
Task. My job was to break down this complex, multi-layered info into digestible, actionable steps. Ensure understanding and safe execution.
How did you do it?
Action. Instead of just repeating, I paused the sim, used a whiteboard, visually illustrated the approach plate profiles, altitudes, headings, explained the avionics symbology step by step, relating it directly to the chart, used simple analogies like the approach being an invisible railway line, made abstract concepts concrete, encouraged questions, had them teach back sections to confirm comprehension before resuming.
Checking understanding.
Result: the students' understanding improved dramatically. They executed the approach confidently, precisely, reinforced my ability to simplify technical procedures, convey critical info effectively, vital for crew coordination, ATC, passenger briefings. Adapting communication style is key when stakes are high.
Analyst. Great example of adaptive communication.
Effective communication is paramount for safety. This question probes your ability to convey critical details precisely, unambiguously, especially under pressure. My example showed distilling intricate details into understandable instructions.
And culturally sensitive communication for Emirates.
Yes, extremely important given their diverse workforce and global routes. They're looking for clarity, conciseness, accuracy, foundational elements of safety and adaptability for different audiences.
Makes sense. Okay, last one for this section. Describe a situation where you had to follow strict procedures. Why was it important? What was the outcome?
As candidate, right.
During a routine pre-flight on a multi-engine aircraft, I noticed a minor discrepancy. Nose wheel tire pressure was slightly below the specified minimum in the aircraft maintenance manual, the AMM.
Minor, but potentially significant.
Task: ensure the aircraft was fully airworthy, compliant with all safety standards before dispatch. Despite the minor nature and pressure for on-time departure.
The pressure is always there.
Action. Instead of judging the small margin, I immediately referred to the AMM, the engineering rulebook, and the minimum equipment list, the MEL, to confirm limits and procedures. Contacted maintenance, detailed the exact reading and AMM reference. Requested pressure be brought to spec. Ensured it was logged and signed off before continuing checks.
By the book.
Result: caused a brief, maybe 10-minute delay while maintenance adjusted it, but the aircraft departed fully compliant and safe. It underscored the fundamental importance of unwavering adherence to strict procedures, no matter how minor the deviation seems. Every procedure, every checklist item exists for a reason, usually rooted in safety analysis, past incidents. By following it precisely, we eliminated potential risk, upheld safety standards. Small deviations can snowball.
Analyst, perfect illustration.
This question hits the fundamentals: safety and regulatory compliance. Pilots operate within a rigid framework, checklists, protocols, regulations, all designed for safety.
Especially at Emirates.
Exactly. They have incredibly stringent procedures. Your answer must share unwavering commitment to adherence. Provide an example where following procedure, even if cumbersome or causing a delay, led to a safe outcome. Reinforce the why behind the steps. Show you prioritize safety and compliance above all else, understanding the domino effect of even minor deviations.
Situational and complex scenarios. Most difficult.
Okay, now we enter the most challenging territory: hypothetical situations. These require critical thinking, sound judgment, and a clear grasp of a pilot's vast responsibilities.
Where the thinking process is often key.
Precisely. What's fascinating here is often there isn't one single right answer. It's about demonstrating your thought process, your priorities.
How you arrive at a decision.
Exactly. Let's start. Imagine you notice your captain making a minor procedural error. Maybe omitting a checklist item, an incorrect radio call. What would you do?
As candidate, okay. My immediate action would be subtle, professional. Bring it to their attention using standard CRM principles. For a minor error, a gentle prompt. Captain, have we completed the specific item? Or just a quick cross-check on that frequency, Captain. Is it correct frequency?
Tone is important.
Absolutely. Non-confrontational, supportive. Emphasizing teamwork, shared commitment to safety. If the error persisted or was overlooked, then I'd be more direct but still respectful. Captain, the pre-landing checklist indicates item is outstanding and we're nearing the final approach fix. The goal is open communication, correcting the error before it escalates, adhering to the two sets of eyes principle.
Analyst, good approach.
This tests assertiveness, CRM understanding, and safety commitment. It's about maintaining professionalism while ensuring adherence. My response balances respecting authority, pilot in command, with the first officer's duty to maintain vigilance.
Speaking up when needed.
Yes. Emirates trains extensively in CRM. All crew must speak up for safety. It demonstrates clear, respectful communication to correct errors quickly without undermining the command structure. That's vital for cockpit harmony. Avoid being too timid or too aggressive, assertive but respectful.
Tricky balance. Okay, tougher one. You're the first officer. The captain becomes incapacitated during a critical phase of flight takeoff, final approach.
Yeah.
High pressure. What are your immediate actions?
As candidates, right. This demands immediate, decisive action following the absolute priority. Aviate, navigate, communicate.
Aviate first.
Aviate. Immediately take control. Call out my controls. Ensure stability and maintain a safe flight path. Simultaneously, secure the incapacitated pilot. Move seat back. Clear of controls. Engage autopilot if possible and appropriate to ease workload.
Then navigate.
Navigate. Assess position, altitude, heading. Determine safest immediate course. Continue. Path. Climb. Level off to gain time.
And communicate.
Only then. Communicate. Transmit a mayday to ATC. Declare pilot incapacitation. Give position intentions. Request vectors to nearest suitable airport. Immediately after, inform cabin crew. Prepare for emergency. Then, start running the appropriate non-normal checklist for pilot incapacitation systematically. Calm, methodical, procedure-driven in a crisis. Safety first. Always.
Analyst, that sequence is critical.
Absolutely. This assesses emergency response, prioritization, decision-making under extreme pressure. The response outlines the steps in sequence. Control, stabilize, secure, communicate, checklists. Demonstrates understanding of emergency procedures, aviate, navigate, communicate, and staying methodical in a crisis.
Essential for long-haul operations.
Non-negotiable for Emirates. It's a test of leadership and technical proficiency under severe duress. Can you take command when the unexpected happens?
Got it. Next, pre-flight inspection. You discover a maintenance issue. Flickering light, unusual leak. Could delay the flight. How do you handle it, considering the pressure to depart on time?
As candidate, safety first, unequivocally, regardless of delays. First, thoroughly inspect the issue. Refer to the AMM and MAL to understand implications for airworthiness, operational limits.
Check the books.
Immediately inform ground crew, maintenance. Clearly detail the issue, location, documentation reference. Precise communication is key. Simultaneously, update operations control, senior pilot captain about the potential delay, nature of the fall, realistic timelines if possible.
Your stance.
Firm. No flight departs if there's any doubt about airworthiness. I wouldn't sign off until it's rectified or deemed acceptable per official procedures. It's about unwavering commitment to safety, proactive coordination with maintenance, ground staff, ops, cabin crew, resolve the issue, or communicate clearly about the delay.
Analyst, that's the right priority.
This evaluates your safety-first approach and communication. Do you succumb to schedule pressure or uphold aviation's fundamental principle? The response emphasized inspection, manuals, immediate notification, uncompromised stance on airworthiness.
You're the gatekeeper.
Exactly. You demonstrate understanding of aircraft integrity, pilot responsibility, effective coordination, even with delays. For an airline like Emirates on tight schedules, handling this without compromising safety shows professional judgment and integrity.
Okay, let's switch gears slightly. Passenger becomes disruptive mid-flight, intoxicated, refusing instructions. What steps do you take from the cockpit?
As candidate. Well, the cabin crew are primary responders, but the flight deck has overall command and needs critical updates, especially if safety or security is risked.
So your first step.
Get a clear, concise report from the senior cabin crew member. Understand the nature, severity, passenger behavior. Then provide instructions or confirm their proposed actions based on severity and company procedures.
What if it escalates?
If it becomes a security threat, medical emergency, or risks flight safety, I'd immediately consider declaring an emergency with ATC, requesting diversion to the nearest suitable airport. Primary concern: safety and security of everyone. I'd support the cabin crew, ensure they have resources, backing, assist with paperwork on landing. It's about understanding authority, procedures for in-flight security, passenger relations, always prioritizing safety.
Analyst shows understanding of the whole operation.
Right. It tests your ability to manage in-flight security from the pilot's perspective, coordination, boundaries. My answer focused on information gathering, supporting the crew, and making the ultimate diversion decision if needed.
Important for global routes.
Definitely. Emirates deals with diverse situations. Understanding the pilot's role in cabin management, even from behind the locked door, is essential. Shows understanding of command structure, seriousness of incidents, maintaining a safe cabin. They want a pilot who sees the full spectrum of responsibility.
Good point. Back to the elements. You're flying in challenging weather. Unexpected severe turbulence, rapidly deteriorating visibility, not in the forecast. What's your course of action?
As candidate. Proactive. Centered on safety and passenger comfort. First, immediately assess conditions using all onboard resources, weather radar, displays, real-time updates via ACARS.
Gather data.
Then communicate with ATC. Get latest advisories, inquire about alternative routing or altitudes, request PI-ups from other aircraft, my options, request deviation to avoid the worst, change altitude for smoother air, or, if conditions exceed safe limits or capabilities, consider diversion to an alternate.
And the passengers.
Make a clear, calm, reassuring PA announcement. Inform them of the situation, actions we're taking for their comfort and safety. It's about proactive decision-making, using all info to maintain safety and comfort, even when faced with unexpected challenges demanding swift, informed responses.
Analyst tests weather interpretation and dynamic decision-making.
Exactly. How do you respond to unforeseen environmental challenges? My response emphasized immediate assessment, active ATC communication, systematic evaluation of options deviation, altitude change, diversion.
Shows adaptability again.
Yes, it shows you're proactive, safety conscious, capable of sound, dynamic decisions. For Emirates, operating across diverse climates, this adaptability is core. They need pilots who stay collected and decisive when the unexpected happens, always prioritizing safety.
Makes sense. Let's try this. Tell me about a time your leadership skills were tested. Situation, action, outcome.
As candidate, okay.
Leading a multi-aircraft formation exercise in advanced training. One wingman had a minor technical issue. Not an emergency, but impacted their ability to maintain precise station keeping in complex maneuvers. Pilot was getting frustrated.
Challenging dynamics.
Task: ensure overall exercise safety and success, adapt the plan, maintain the affected pilot's confidence and morale, while still meeting training objectives.
Balancing act.
Action: initiated a calm, clear radio call. Got a concise status update, listened actively. Assessed the impact, adjusted our speed and maneuver complexity to accommodate them, preserving safety margins. Delegated a simpler, less demanding role for that segment, letting them focus on their issue without added pressure. After landing, conducted a supportive debrief technical aspects, but also importance of self-reporting and teamwork under duress. Offered a remedial session later to rebuild confidence.
Supportive leadership.
Result: exercise completed safely, successfully. Modified plan achieved goals. Affected pilot felt supported, not singled out. Confidence bolstered. Experience underscored importance of adaptive leadership assets. Make decisive but collaborative adjustments. Foster a supportive environment where crew communicate issues. True leadership is enabling others, even when challenged.
Goes beyond just technical skill.
Yes, this looks for how you inspire confidence, make decisions, adapt, support your team, especially when challenged. My example showed adaptive leadership, assessing, adjusting, providing support, mentorship. Demonstrates decisiveness, adaptability, empathy, maintaining cohesion vital for a pilot in command. Emirates values strong, supportive leaders.
Right. Okay. Disagreement scenario. You disagree with your captain about a non-safety critical operational matter. Preferred routing, minor procedure interpretation, not dangerous. How do you handle it?
As candid, professional communication, respect for the chain of command, while still contributing expertise. Calmly, respectfully present my perspective and reasoning. Reference SOPs, company policy, best practices maybe. Explain why I think my approach might be better, more efficient, suitable.
Give an example.
Like routing. Captain, given current winds and fuel, routing via X waypoint might conserve more fuel and reduce flight time, per our optimization, compared to Y. However, if the captain, after hearing my reasoning, maintains their decision and it's truly non-safety critical, I defer to their authority as pilot in command. Execute their decision professionally, no further dispute in the cockpit.
But maybe discuss later.
Exactly. Might make a mental note to discuss constructively in a post-flight debrief. Understand their reasoning, offer insights for the future, learn lessons without in-flight conflict.
Analyst assesses conflict resolution and professional communication within the hierarchy.
Critical balance. Articulate your view with evidence, but ultimately respect captain's authority on non-safety items. Maintains cockpit harmony, decision efficiency, shows you can manage differences constructively, avoid escalating conflict, prioritize harmony, while still contributing insights. Emirates values pilots who are assertive and respectful.
Okay, almost there. Describe a time you had to make a quick decision with incomplete information. How did you proceed? What was the result?
As candidate.
Okay.
Solo VFR cross-country. Unexpected, rapidly developing localized fog bank. Not forecast. Visibility dropping below VFR minimums ahead. Immediate alternate airport weather also deteriorating on ATOS.
Getting boxed in.
Task. Make a rapid decision for safety, despite limited real-time, precise weather data, dwindling time.
What'd you do?
Action. Immediately initiated a 180-degree turn, returned to known clear conditions behind me. Priority, get out of the deteriorating weather. While turning, tuned nearest ATIS for updates, scanned charts for other potential diversions in areas appearing clear on regional forecast. Quick assessment, fuel versus distance to new alternates. Considered contacting ATC for special VFR, but immediate safety was priority one.
Incisive action.
Result, quick decision to turn back, prevented entering unsafe conditions. Successfully diverted to a more distant but clearly VFR alternate. Landed safely. Reinforced critical importance of swift decisions in dynamic weather, trusting instruments in training, prioritizing safety over schedule when info is incomplete or changing rapidly. Value of contingency plans, acting decisively under uncertainty. Analyst. Tests thinking on your feet. Judgment under pressure, risk management with limited info.
My example showed rapid assessment, immediate action, the 180 turn, then gathering more info while executing the primary safety maneuver. Shows proactive, risk-averse mindset, making best possible decision with available data, always prioritizing safety.
Crucial for global flying.
Absolutely. Emirates pilots often encounter conditions differing from forecasts, requiring immediate judgment with potentially incomplete info.
Okay. Emirates emphasizes customer service strongly. How would you, from the cockpit, contribute to a positive passenger experience?
As candidate, right. While I operate from the flight deck, I know I'm a key ambassador for Emirates brand and service values. I'd contribute primarily through clear, confident, reassuring PA announcements.
What kind of announcements?
Timely updates on flight progress, acknowledging landmarks, accurate ETAs, brief, calming explanations for minor turbulence or delays. Tone, always professional, calm, friendly, even during challenges to instill confidence. A simple, well-delivered welcome or farewell, maybe acknowledging cabin crew's work or a beautiful view, makes a difference. It's about connecting with passengers, managing expectations and comfort, reinforcing the premium experience Emirates promises.
Analyst. Connects the pilot role directly to company values.
Yes. Assesses understanding that responsibility extends beyond just flying. My answer focused on impactful PA announcements. Demonstrates understanding that you're an ambassador, enhancing comfort, managing expectations, building trust through empathetic communication.
Aligning with their luxury reputation.
Exactly. Emirates is renowned for service. Pilots are expected to contribute, ensuring passengers feel informed, safe, valued.
Okay, final question, bringing it all together. What does professionalism mean to you as a pilot? And how would you demonstrate it in your daily work at Emirates? This needs a comprehensive answer.
As candidate, professionalism as a pilot, especially at Emirates, is a comprehensive ethos, far beyond just technical skill. To me, it means unwavering adherence to the highest safety protocols, a commitment to continuous learning, mastery of skills, maintaining peak physical and mental fitness, upholding highest standards of integrity, ethical conduct, consistently representing the airline with pride, dignity, on and off duty.
And how would you demonstrate that daily?
Several key ways. Firstly, meticulous pre-flight prep. Weather, NOTAMs, performance calculations thoroughly reviewed. Sets the stage for safety, efficiency. Secondly, executing procedures flawlessly. Strict adherence to SOPs, checklists, the bedrock of safety and consistency. Thirdly, actively engaging in effective CRM. Fostering collaborative, respectful environment with fellow pilots, cabin crew, clear communication, mutual support, joint problem solving. Fourthly, strong focus on continuous self-improvement. Recurrent training, staying updated, seeking feedback, includes personal fitness, mental acuity, vital for long haul. Finally, being an ambassador. Interacting respectfully with everyone, colleagues, ground staff, ATC, passengers, embodying Emirates' values of excellence, world-class service. It's about being a complete, dedicated aviator, always striving for excellence in every facet.
Analyst, that covers a lot.
It needs to. This comprehensive question requires a thoughtful articulation of your professional ethos. My answer broke professionalism into tangible, actionable behaviors relevant to daily work. Safety, learning, integrity, procedures, teamwork, representing the brand.
Shows deep understanding.
Yes. It demonstrates understanding of the multifaceted nature of professional aviation, especially at a prestigious global airline. They want to know you understand the 360-degree demands, not just flying, but upholding reputation, contributing to culture, striving for excellence. This comprehensive view truly sets a candidate apart. Outro.
Wow. What an incredible deep dive. Really getting into the world of pilot interviews, especially for an airline like Emirates. You've given us such clarity, not just what to expect, but why they ask these things.
Yeah.
And what kind of mindset, what preparation really leads to success. The role play format, I think it really helped explore the nuances.
I agree. And it's clear, isn't it? Practicing these questions structurally, understanding the specific competencies they're assessing, consistently using frameworks like STAR that really builds the confidence and fluency needed for that initial high review screen.
Sets a strong foundation.
It really does. Sets a trajectory for a successful career, particularly with an airline that values the whole aviator, not just the technical skills.
Absolutely. It's so clear. Emirates isn't just looking for someone who can expertly fly a plane. They want someone who embodies safety, unwavering professionalism, impeccable teamwork, incredible adaptability, and that genuine, ingrained, customer-centric approach.
The holistic aviator, as you said. Someone who can navigate the skies and the complexities of human interaction and operational demands.
Exactly. So for you, the listener, as you reflect on this conversation, maybe preparing for your own journey, here's a final thought to mull over.
Okay.
Beyond all the technical skills, the procedures, the behavioral competencies we discussed, what surprising, non-technical quality do you think is most overlooked, but absolutely critical for a pilot's long-term success and well-being, especially in the demanding, dynamic environment of a global airline like Emirates?
That's a good one to ponder.
Something that helps them thrive over decades, not just one flight. Think about that. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep learning.